Hey everybody, it's Party Elite, and today I want to take a look at the upcoming RTS Ancestors Legacy. I'll be releasing an in-depth review of the game, hopefully sometime this weekend, so keep your eyes peeled for that, but here's a quick rundown of 7 reasons why Ancestors Legacy is gearing up to be a fantastic addition to the genre. A lot of these factor in primarily to the compelling multiplayer side of things, but many aspects tie into single-player campaigns as well. Sheer brutality. This is a bit of a strange point, but the more time I spent with the game, the more I felt its impact. Ancestors Legacy is an extremely visceral game. When units engage, they don't merely poke and prod at each other. Each brutal charge, every devastating blow, and every desperate defense can be seen quite clearly in some absolutely amazing synchronized animations. People fall to ranged fire in a horrifying way, men end up bloodied and bruised during battle, and the helpless folk of a village aren't spared either when you start setting buildings alight. There's something to be said about a game that doesn't shy away from this brutality of war. It isn't all glory and Valhalla, and it's nice to see the ruthlessness of war depicted so well. The action camera gives you front and center seats to the show, letting you see each engagement and really enjoy the visuals of the game. Great unit models that reflect progression as they level up and get better equipment, solid animations, and some great post-effects and camera work. Fast-paced. Almost as if to double down on this sheer brutality, Ancestors Legacy is very fast-paced when it comes to getting into the action. With a limited number of active units on the field at any given time, you'll find yourself managing their movements as you push forward into villages that act as resource points in multiplayer, or attempt to defend against enemy raiding parties, or potentially push into enemy villages and headquarters. To help keep this pace up, base building and management have all been extremely simplified. When you opt to build a new structure in multiplayer, you can use this quick access panel down here or use the hotkeys no matter where your camera is currently situated, because each building has a preordained spot on the map. This means you're neither constantly scrolling back home to place a new building, nor are you dealing with opponents in multiplayer that line up their houses into a makeshift wall to block off an approach. This allows for the focus to stay on forward troops and ensures that base building tactics aren't used to slow down an offensive push. Actual tactics. Rather than just using rock, paper, scissors and numbers to overwhelm your enemy, Ancestors Legacy has you relying on tactics that actually make a difference to how engagements turn out. This isn't just about having the high ground either. Setting up flanking maneuvers, building traps in ideal locations, and outmaneuvering the enemy at choke points will all add up to determine an engagement because of the implementation of a morale system. The use of terrain is also quite handy and goes well beyond high ground, low ground, and choke points. Ambushes can be craftily set up using bushes, tall grass, and dense forests, through which all line of sight is blocked or range damage is reduced, potentially giving you the upper hand based on composition. Setting up a roadside ambush for an unsuspecting party has never been so easy or fun. Morale matters. That's right, Ancestors Legacy realizes that a person's will to fight often breaks well before their body does. You can use this to your advantage in many ways, forcing enemy units to retreat when their morale drops to 0. Whether you outnumber them, use unit abilities to frighten them, or use some of the actual tactics mentioned before to flank and frighten, chipping away at the morale of a higher tier unit can often mean a couple of lower tier units will come out on top. Morale is also affected by the availability of food, and so you can see how attacking an enemy's resources can have more of an impact than minor annoyance at reduced production rates. The implementation of morale in strategy games is absolutely crucial in bringing an extra layer to every engagement. The world is alive. More strategy games need to integrate weather and day-night cycles like Ancestors Legacy does. At night, your soldiers speak in whispers as they skulk about. Reduced vision ranges for you and your enemies alike means you're able to sneak around on open field far more easily. And if any unit is standing by a fire or carrying a torch, it can easily be spotted in the dead of night, allowing you to really maneuver your troops for a potential ambush. Beyond this, the weather can often change as well. If you're planning on going out raiding, make sure not to do it in the rain, as the rain will actually hamper your ability to set buildings on fire, slowing down your aggressive maneuvers. This ties into the earlier conversation about real-world tactics sort of being simulated in Ancestors Legacy. Interesting resource points. We've seen multiplayer setups like this before. Go capture resource points, gather resources, defend said resource points, amass your forces, go forth and kill. But in Ancestors Legacy, we see each resource point become an actual battleground in multiplayer. While each point can offer any of up to 3 resources, they also provide vision, have great choke points for defense, and can be upgraded to build additional watchtowers. The town center can defend itself as well, firing away at incoming enemy forces, and so now you've got resource points that not only help strengthen your forces, but help weaken an enemy advance as well. These potential battlegrounds are spread across the map and open up an interesting option of harassment and defensive opportunities. Not just Vikings. Vikings are so hot right now, but Ancestors Legacy goes beyond the Viking invasions of the British Isles in multiplayer and in the campaign. Follow the tales of Vikings, Anglo-Saxons, Slavs, and Germans through a great set of campaign missions and stories, and then use them in multiplayer skirmishes against the AI or other players. Each faction has its own strengths and weaknesses, often giving access to unique unit types as well, and many times giving rise to different approaches to the same situation. Each has unique art for structures and units, as can be expected, but technological advances in unit abilities are also fitting for each of these factions, creating as much separation as possible in what might otherwise have felt like a very homogeneous game. Ancestors Legacy is out on the 22nd of May, and if you're interested in buying it, check out the Humble Bundle affiliate link to pick it up while helping out charity and this channel. Are you excited to jump into the game? What are you most looking forward to? Is there anything that concerns you? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, remember to subscribe for a constant flow of strategy and tactical gaming content. Till next time, thank you very much for watching, and cheers.